Hello and welcome to the Investing Bros. I'm T. Shroom, and the markets are looking up. They are looking up today. Take a look here at the bubbles. We had a favorable print from the PCE. Let's jump into that right now. The PCE print came in a little bit favorable here. Core PCE, price index month over month, actual print 0.2, forecast was 0.2, consensus and previous were both 0.3. So this will be viewed as the market by the market as bullish, giving Jerome Powell over at the FOMC the ammunition he needs to keep rates cut potentially sooner rather than later. Now, I still don't think that this turns the needle all that much on cuts are being more likely into 2024. I still think that cuts, if they're going to come, are probably going to come later in the year, in Q4, not in Q3, and there's a chance that they don't even come in 2024. It all depends on how inflation plays out from here. But this is a print that gives the Fed confidence that at least inflation is not ticking up at an increasing rate. Remember, inflation's still going up. This is a positive number, but it's not going up at a positive rate, or it's the rate of change is not going up at a positive rate. And that is actually the factual statement of it. But we got some other prints here as well. Personal income and personal spending, a little bit more bearish read here. So personal income came in as a meet. It underperformed the previous print. However, personal spending, so that was income. Personal spending came in below forecast and consensus, which is not good. So companies like that are dependent on personal spending may get sold off today. They may not, right? It just depends how the market wants to digest this info. But this is probably the most bearish print here. I would say though that it's not the end of the world, and especially in the crypto markets, I don't think are going to respond to that too much, unless Wall Street just completely dumps on that. So there's other prints as well. The PCE price index year over year came in 0.1 over forecast, but came in with consensus and previous. So I think this would probably be viewed mostly as a wash. The headline here, this is the one that everybody's going to be talking about, is the core PCE, the price index month over month, which came in and is mostly perceived to be a beat and a meet. So bullish. And we're seeing it in the charts. We'll take a look here first. Well, let's look at the bubbles. By market cap, Bitcoin is up 1%, and Ethereum is up more than 1%, up almost 2% there at 1.7%. So that's bullish, right? Crypto is not, I wouldn't call it a rally, but it's up on the news. And as you can see, we have mostly green on the screen. We have some selling here, AKT down 5. Injective down 2.5, Theta down 4, TIA down 4.9. TIA's just been on a run though. This is probably just some routine correction. And then you have your up boys, and boy are they, already up another 5.5% today. Really continuing the rally strong here. Beam, haven't heard from Beam in a while, up 10.3%, and Ondo up 7%. It changed, it adjusted right as I was quoting it there. And then Pepe up 9.5, Bread up 10.6, Arweave up 16.4, and Jasmy up 21.5. I've got a story on Jasmy here from Decrypt. No, Jasmy coin does not have a partnership with Apple, but its token is still pumping. So then the question is,
why are you running? Why are you running?
We like to have fun here. I don't know what's going on with Jasmy. I would not chase this pump at all. That's not what I have planned for today. Not going to be chasing the pump at all. I'm going to be taking a step back, trying to digest all of this for you all. This PCE print does seem to be favorable. Something else that I wanted to point out was that the indexes are opening up higher here. You can see here the Qs are opening up in pre-market just slightly higher. And then I noticed that a couple of stocks were also opening higher. Let's see. Tesla opening just barely higher. Not a great example. Meta opening just barely higher. Microsoft higher, but stocks generally are higher. Ooh, Microsoft took quite a tumble yesterday. And then let's see, Google. Oh, so markets are generally in pre-market trading higher on the news. What is not higher on the news? Hold your breath. The Dixie. The Dixie is down. Big red candlestick on the day for the Dixie. This is what we want to see. Dixie lower, Bitcoin higher. Very, very good here to see the Dixie giving up some support here at $104.50. It's giving that up. If we can get a price to close below that, then that still technically would be a higher low, which would, not be the best, but it would signal weakness in general. A close below the midline of the Bollinger Band on the daily would be nice to see. You did just get a higher high here from the Dixie, so we are kind of in an uptrending channel at this point. But the fact that the Dixie is selling off in a time with this news, is kind of with the PCE news is signaling some bullishness to the market for sure. That it is a little more risk on than risk off. All right, let's keep moving here. See if there's anything else. Let's see. Clean Spark pre-market is up as well. MSTR, actually MicroStrategies, had came back and retested 1543, and in pre-market it is all the way back up. What is the percentage gain on this? In pre-market it's up 3.3. Okay, so not as much as I thought it was going to be, but that's impressive. Overall, the digestion here by the market is bullish. This PCE print is bullish. CNBC running the following headline, we'll get to in just a second, but this wanted to remind you this episode is brought to you by Arculus. Guys, you're going to make a lot of money in crypto, okay? Don't get it stolen. Don't get it hacked in some centralized exchange or something like that. Keep it on cold storage. If you don't know what it is, do your own research, figure out what cold storage is, and the link to the Arculus discount is in the description of this video. You just use the code word BROZ, and you'll be on your way to a more secure, more much better crypto future when it comes to crypto security. So check it out. CNBC saying the Fed's preferred inflation measure rose 0.2 in April as expected. So meeting expectations. The personal consumption expenditure price index included food and energy costs increased just 0.2% for the period, in line with the Dow Jones estimate. On an annualized basis, core PCE was up 2.8% or 0.1 percentage point higher than the estimate. Of course, that's what we were quoting down here, the year over year. It did come in a little hot, but so far the market seems to be brushing that off and focusing on the core PCE. Back to the article here. Fed officials prefer the PCE reading over the more closely followed Consumer Price Index, the CPI, which the Labor Department compiles. The Commerce Department measure accounts for changes in consumer behavior, such as substituting less expensive items for costlier alternatives, and has a wider scope than CPI. A 1.2% increase in energy prices helped push up the headline increase. Food prices posted a 0.2 decline on the month. Goods prices rose 0.2. So there's a lot to be excited about here, a lot to be bullish about. I think that this keeps the market afloat for the rest of the week, likely seeing the Dow Jones inch higher to that $50,000 all-time high for the Dow Jones. And, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum also pushing towards their all-time highs, respectively. But this is generally bullish for the market. Again, pre-market is opening up bullish, and I've got a couple of stories for you all. We will get to those. Right on the other side of this on-chain metric, this is Bitcoin AASI, Active Addresses Sentiment Indicator. And as you can see here, when the orange line, let's zoom in here. When the orange line gets above the red, that generally indicates the potential for a little bit of a local top. Here, let's read a little bit about this using the tool. Unlike many of the other Bitcoin live charts, this live chart examines lower time frame and attempts to provide Bitcoin price prediction in terms of directional moves on weekly time frames. So it tries to do Bitcoin price forecasting by highlighting where price may pull back or where it may bounce using price and active address data. So according to this on-chain data, the orange line is the 28-day price change, and it has just started to tick above the red line, which means that there is a potential for a pullback. Potential is an overbought indicator, overbought for Bitcoin, potentially, right? Not saying that there's going to be a pullback. Obviously, there's a lot more factors, but based on this active address sentiment indicator, we have reached a new peak here for 2000, not for 2024, but for May. So definitely something to consider there. What does that mean? I mean, plain simple. This isn't the best place to buy, right? This is a better place to maybe take profits or invest in other cryptocurrencies, in altcoins, right? So you can do with that information what you will. T-Shroom, should I not buy Bitcoin then? If I'm coming into crypto for the first time, should I buy Cardano or AVAX instead? No. If you're coming into crypto for the very first time, Bitcoin should be your first buy. Bitcoin is a revolution in technology like humanity has never seen. It could be as significant as the printing press and the internet. I believe that it is. So Bitcoin specifically is a revolution, right? Cardano, AVAX, Ethereum, HBAR, these cryptocurrencies are competing to be the next Amazon, the next Google, the next Tesla, right? These are ideas that are unproven quite yet, but they have a lot of momentum and they're very bullish, right? That's why I own them. But Bitcoin is different. Bitcoin is in a league of its own. So when we say there's an indicator showing that Bitcoin is actually in an area where you may not want to buy more because there could be a pullback, you have to take that with a very giant grain of salt. And experienced investors will know exactly what that means for them. New investors may be confused by that, and that's why I wanted to take that moment to kind of clarify. Ethereum put-call ratio hits 1-year high, hints at bullish bias despite pause and rally. This one is really interesting. Ethereum's put-to-call ratio has reached 0.6, signaling a bullish outlook following spot ETH ETF approvals, algorithmic trading firm Wintermute said in a note shared with CoinDesk. Another possibility is traders selling put options in rising market to generate additional income in addition to their spot market holdings. So it's all possible here. One more story here. McHenry pushes for Senate approval of FIT21 crypto bill. Wait, T-Shroom, I thought that FIT21 passed. It did, but here in the United States we have a bicameral form of government at the state level and the federal level, as it turns out, except for what state has a unicameral is Nebraska. Factoid of the day. There you go. Because we won't have a 3 p.m. stream today, bro, so we got to get that factoid in. It is Nebraska. On May 22nd, the U.S. House of Representatives approved the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, FIT21, bill by a majority of 279 to 136 crypto haters, pushing it to the Senate. The massive support for the lower legislative body should be a wake-up call for the Senate that they need to get on with this, McHenry told Bloomberg's Balance of Power on May 30th. They need to stay focused on getting policy here and getting it done before the election, he added. The bill paves the way for most cryptocurrencies to be classified as commodities and fall under the regulation of Commodities Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC, not the CFTC. This would be very, very bullish if this could pass the Senate. It would be as bullish as it did when it passed the House, except more so. The next stop would be old Joseph Biden's desk, and if he goes ahead and signs it and does not veto it, then that would go into law, and that would be very favorable for the crypto community. More than likely, altcoins would receive the regulatory clarity incremental increase that has been long awaited. Would that be the end all be all? No, I don't think that this legislation FIT21 is comprehensive, but it does get the ball down towards the end zone. So that's bullish, very bullish indeed. Sounds like Patrick McHenry is really putting a lot of his political capital on the line. He's talked about leaving politics after his stint here, his what do they call it, term in Congress, and this will be his last term. So hopefully, he can kind of champion this bill all the way to the end zone, and get old Joey B to sign it and not veto it. Of course, President Joseph Biden potentially will pass this because he has signaled recently, in association with the passage of this bill through the House, he has signaled, and also with the passage of the spot Ethereum ETF, Joseph Biden has signaled a little bit more dovishness towards the crypto community. Michael M. said, "You worried about the unrealized gains tax? That is so far from being a reality. I am not worried about it. I would definitely not characterize my emotions towards unrealized gains tax as a worry. Obviously, if it were to go into law, that would be very bad. But I think that as crazy as our politicians are here in the U.S., I don't think they would go that far. What's crazy is that there's any politicians even talking about that. Let's see. When Sarah talks about his work, he listens to her without discussion or argument. Well, Sarah sounds like a high-quality individual. I have no idea what that's in reference to. Let's see. Okay. Buy Bitcoin if you want a 2x in the next year. I think that's conservative. Let's see. Joseph Gunter said China, Russia, India, and a few others are moving back to the gold standard. They came out with this recently. No, they didn't. This has been, guys, be very careful with the BRICS narrative. The BRICS narrative to me is a bit of a global propaganda story. It's not, it is real. Okay, these countries are coordinating together to come up with a unified currency that may be backed by gold. But I have been monitoring this story very closely, right? I monitor it very closely in summer of 2023, and this, I should say, narrative, and then all throughout the fall and the spring, there have been a lot of stories kind of showing that the BRICS narrative is really not as significant as people think. It has the potential to become more significant, right? But what they do is that they come out with these headlines around BRICS, and they're measured, right? They come at a time in a market where there's some fragility to the upside or the downside, and they help to push the needle to make the dollar stronger or weaker, usually weaker, right? But there are financial incentives in addition to the ideological and geopolitical incentives that may exist. So just be aware of those. Is the BRICS narrative a complete farce? Is it fake news? No, it's not fake news, but it's way overblown. And there are very big pockets that have very big interests in BRICS narratives being overblown, being taken more seriously than it ought to be. But if you study the dollar, if you look at what the dollar really is, yes, it sucks, but all fiat sucks. And it is the best of the fiat, right? It's the coolest guy in chess club, if you think about it that way. But Bitcoin is here, cryptocurrencies are here, and they're going to dominate, but it's not going to happen overnight. So Turbo is up 43%. Turbo is a meme coin. We talked about meme coins quite a bit yesterday. If you want to have fun, go check out the meme coins, right? But it's like walking into a casino. Don't forget that you're there to have fun. Don't be under any delusion that you're entering into any kind of serious capitalist enterprise, because you're not. You're betting against the house, and the house is going to win. Are you still bullish on Caspa, Link, and Ondo? I absolutely am, and I really appreciate you bringing up Ondo, because I was going to do some TA on it. Let's check out Ondo. Ondo up 5% this morning. Goodness, I thought it was up a little more than that. Yeah, Ondo up 5.7% this morning. Arweave up 15%. Arweave just being dominant there. Let's see. Ondo on the daily, trading well above that midline of the Bollinger Band, was able to break out nicely out of this regression trend that was so flat. It was like the flattest regression trend I've ever seen. Broke out of that really nicely, had a symmetrical pennant, and now it's just kind of consolidating again. I wouldn't be surprised if Ondo breaks up from here. We had a nice move down, a nice price discovery phase down to $1.01 for Ondo, and since then it's just been bullish. I think with the rest of the crypto narrative being pretty bullish post this favorable PCE print, I would imagine Ondo goes higher from here. But let me know, what do you think? Do you think that Ondo needs to come back and test the midline of the Bollinger Band here at least? Come back and test maybe $1 again? I mean, that's a huge psychological number to just jet through and then not return to. I will say that. To jet through $1 and then not come back and test it, I don't know. So maybe a potential for a short there, but I would be careful because Ondo does have some strength. A lot of folks are very, very bullish on the coin. I want to check back in with the Dixie here as we close, but I'm done with the stories. PCE looks like it's going to be bullish for the PCE print, looks like it's going to be bullish for the markets. But let's take a look at the Dixie again. Yep, Dixie continues to hold lower. Again, I want this to close below this candlestick close back here. That would put in a lower high. I'm sorry, goodness gracious. That would put in a lower low, which would be favorable. It would be, kind of signaling the end of this uptrend. T-Shroom, what are you talking about? What do you mean uptrend? What is an uptrend? Well, from this candlestick close to this candlestick close here, right, it formed an uptrend. A candlestick close below this line really would be a break of that uptrend, and it's signaling a downtrend. Potentially a sideways trend, but more than likely a downtrend. Okay, so that's what we want to see there for the old Dixie. Now that doesn't mean it goes straight to 100 from here. No. But it is generally very bullish for Bitcoin and Ethereum and for stocks when the Dixie comes down. All right, super chat, $10 from Atreyu. Let's go. Happy wedding eve, T-Shroom. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Atreyu. I am getting married in less than 24 hours. No, it'll be a little more than 24 hours, but it is tomorrow. I'll be getting married to the woman of my dreams, my fiance. She is amazing. I wrote my vows yesterday. It was very sentimental. So yeah, it's all real. It's all real. I'm very excited. And man, for those of you who've been married, I've been getting a lot of advice on Twitter. So keep it coming. I'm really appreciating all that advice. I'm very busy, so I may not respond to you, but I am reading it. So yeah, thank you so much, Atreyu, for that super chat. Let's see. SA80K said Bitcoin dominance doing. Can you please check? Yeah, let's check on the Bitcoin dominance here. So it's coming back up a little bit, finding a little bit of support here around 53%. But what I would say, though, is that this is a lower high. Oh, goodness gracious. It's a lower low. It's like the fourth time I've done that. This is a lower low here, right? So generally, that's going to be signaling a downtrend and also a much lower high here from the spike back in mid-April. So what is this, T-Shroom? This doesn't look like Bitcoin, but it says BTC. Bitcoin dominance. This is Bitcoin over the rest of crypto, essentially, right? And there's better and there's worse ways to measure what this is attempting to measure, but this is a pretty good reading. Basically, what this signals is that Bitcoin is continuing to outpace crypto, but it's in like the rest of cryptos like Cardano, Ondo, Ethereum, but it's outpacing altcoins at a decreasing rate. Hopefully that makes sense for you. So Bitcoin can absolutely still go up and this metric go down, but that just means that altcoins are going up higher and faster than Bitcoin. Congratulations, T-Shroom. My advice is don't be deceived. Okay. That's good. That's good advice. Don't be deceived. All the best on your big day to the both of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jazz me best now. I think judging by the English there, we might be able to make some deductions. I've been married for 15 years. Be the fashion. I like that. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be the fashion. I like that. Is that kind of like a play on be the change you want to be the change you want to see in the world, but it's be the fashion you want to see in the world? I like that. If that's what you're implying. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, including the stablecoins. You know what? I'm not a dominance expert, a Bitcoin dominance expert. I'm pretty sure that it does include the stablecoins though, which that's why I'm saying there are better and worse ways to measure Bitcoin dominance. That's why that was kind of what I was referring to, is I do think that there are the stablecoins in here. Means altcoin season is coming. It might. It can. What I would say, though, is be careful with that, right? Because back here at the end of 2023, what did we have? Lower highs and lower lows, right? And yet the Bitcoin dominance came back up. This was not alt season, right? So they have this almost the exact same setup here as we did back here at the end of the year when it comes to Bitcoin dominance. So don't be calling it altcoin season just yet. You can call it whatever you want, but I don't think altcoin season is quite in yet. I think late summer is probably the earliest that we'll see altcoin season. And you might be hearing that, and you're like, whoa, T-Shroom, that means so much to me. I'm not ready to hear that. I need altcoin season to be right now. Well, first of all, investing takes patience. Trading absolutely takes its patience. Be careful trying to time altcoin season perfectly. The best way to play it, if you do not already have your bags packed for altcoin season, is to look for value. Look for underpriced coins that have a lot of value, that have big communities, strong leadership in the development, not leadership in the sense that they're going to be able to manipulate the price, but strong leadership like Charles Hoskinson, right? Like Gavin Wood over at Polkadot. Strong leadership and good community, great tokenomics, but that they're also undervalued, right? If you've missed the boat on crypto, likely we're not going to see a 50%, 30% correction for you to be able to get into AVAX, to get into Chainlink, to get into Cardano, right? So what you need to do is go look for those underbought coins. Off the top of my head, Matic, Cardano. So Matic is pretty underbought, but should still do pretty well during the bull market. Cardano is going to be another good bet for the bull market that is very underbought. Let's see what else we got. Now, a lot of people are going to talk crap about Cardano, but at these prices, you're getting a bargain. You are getting a bargain on a high-value cryptocurrency, no matter what they tell you. HBAR is not terrible for in terms of undervalued. Atom, definitely undervalued. T-Shroom, how can you measure if something's undervalued? I'm not measuring it here. I just happen to know that these are. Let me show you one way to know if a crypto is undervalued. First thing is go to Bitcoin, go to the monthly chart, 1 month, right here on TradingView, and then make sure you have the Bollinger Band turned on. How do you turn on the Bollinger Band? Right over here, you can turn it on or off. That's how you turn on indicators and turn on indicators off. You turn on the indicator by going in here and typing in MACD, and you can get it. Okay, so what do I notice here? What am I looking to assess if a crypto is undervalued or overvalued? Relative to time is important too. How quickly it's become overvalued or undervalued. The midline of the Bollinger Band, right? And I'm going to even go to a cleaner chart here. Not so much more clean. All right, so this is, let's do a percentage analysis. So the live price of Bitcoin to the midline of the Bollinger Band is 90%, right? So that's kind of the benchmark in a sense. Bitcoin, well, I think Ethereum is probably a better benchmark than Bitcoin for this analysis because we're going to be measuring altcoins to see which ones are undervalued. Bitcoin is, again, in kind of a league of its own. So let's go to the live price of Ethereum. And that is going to be an 80% increase, right? So Bitcoin and Ethereum not too far apart in terms of their movement relative to the midline of the Bollinger Band. All right, now let's go ahead and let's look at Matic. Matic is below the midline of the Bollinger Band. Negative progress, right? So that's a signal potentially of weakness, but you have to remember that the folks that are going to be rushing into crypto, in the late summer and the early fall, that new fresh retail, they are not going to understand what I'm showing you right now. They'll be tuning into the Investing Bros, and I'll be doing my best to educate them then, but they're just going to see a YouTube video on how awesome Matic is, and then they're going to go buy it, right? And Matic is really well ingrained, I will say. I mean, you can send USDC over Matic, over Polygon, it's the same thing, with apps like Robinhood, right, and Coinbase. There's only Solana and Ethereum. There's only 2 other coins that you can send USDC over from Robinhood. It is well ingrained, and yet it is so underbought, right? You can see it's not even above the 50 line here on the monthly. Another way to analyze if something is underbought. All right, what was one of the other ones I called out? Cardano. Let's see where Cardano is. Goodness, let's hold our breath here with this one. Cardano just barely above the midline of the Bollinger Band here. I used to do this a lot. I used to do a lot more midline of the Bollinger Band on the monthly analysis. Okay, let's see what else we got. Optimism, I want to say, isn't that far behind. Yeah, you don't have as much data here, So be careful when you're looking at charts that kind of just stop. Optimism is a newer coin, and on Coinbase, it's only been listed, for a handful of months here. So just be aware of that. But from this midline that has printed 21% to the upside, right? So not Ethereum at 80, not Bitcoin at 90, right? Underbought relative to those names. Atom under the midline of the Bollinger Band, right? AVAX, I believe, it's kind of come back. At one point, it got all the way up to 181% above that midline, right? Now it's shed a decent amount of that, and it's come back. It's now losing to Ethereum. It's now 66% live price up from the midline. Polkadot, let's take a look at Polkadot, right on that midline. But by percentage, it's just 15% premium on the midline. XRP, we'll skip that one. Caspa, okay, I'm not even going to measure this out because there's not enough data. But as you can see, the midline's down here. It's overbought. It's overbought relative to these other ones, I should say. Let's look at the most overbought. I think it was Chainlink that had. And when I say overbought, that doesn't mean that it's inappropriately overbought. I guess over does kind of imply a pejorative there. But what I mean by overbought just means that it's outpacing the market. And if you're looking for a bargain, if you have not packed your altcoin bags, you may want to look at Matic. Like, guys, really, the play is Matic. If you are not packed for the bull market, 69% to live price, but this baby got all the way up to 118. So AVAX still in the cycle. AVAX got the highest to the, but it's retraced quite a bit, and I know it all too well, as my AVAX bags were very exciting at one point, but now have retraced. I bet you Render is pretty overbought as well. Let's see. Yep. Oh, look how high this thing got. From the midline, this thing got 300% to the upside on the monthly chart. It's currently live price almost 200% off that midline. Okay. Does that mean that you shouldn't buy it? No, not necessarily. We're not. This is one dimension of looking at and analyzing and valuing crypto, right? Just one way. You can do this with stocks too, right? But think about it like this: if you're investing in wood manufacturing companies, you could do the same analysis to assess what is the market valuing. Which companies that are making wood are getting more investment from the market, right? You can do that with any vertical to try to compare companies within the same industry. Let's see. Jason Hamons said, let's see what Cardano is doing. Oh, same thing it's done for the past 4 years. We got a Cardano hater. I think you might be the first Cardano hater out there, bro. So congratulations. Congratulations, and thank you. Thank you so much. Kim Courtlever. AVAX. Said username. What's up, username? Good to see you. Eddie PT said, I really advise for people to search what ADA is building because you regret. Endorsements, Plutus V3, and Hydra with Chang hard fork. This was, I feel like you're saying something that is somewhat important here, but I can't tell if you're bullish or bearish on ADA. Yeah. Look, is Cardano going to be like the best thing ever? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's underbought. It's underbought relative to other cryptos. Oh, Solana. Let's look at Solana on the 3-month. Solana's been one of the biggest outperformers of the market so far in this bull market. And goodness gracious, let's measure this one here. Does it beat Chainlink? Or wait, no, it wasn't Chainlink. Does it beat Render? So to the top here, 283 does not beat Render to the top, and it is just behind Render to the live price. Bros, thank you so much for tuning in. We will not have a 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time show today, unfortunately, due to my wedding. Tim is traveling to come be at my wedding down in Gainesville. I'm so important. I feel so important. But thank you all so much for tuning in. It really is a pleasure. Make sure that you smash the like button on the way out. I have not asked you very much to smash the like button today, which is honestly my fault. Not great. But do it now, and all will be forgiven. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you've gotten value with this video and you've watched for the very first time, make sure that you consider subscribing. It would really mean a lot to us here at the Investing Bros. And thank you so much for tuning in. Again, no 3 p.m. show, but we will put out a video, a little bit of a polka dot analysis a little bit later tonight. That'll be fun for y'all to watch. Looking forward to seeing. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat for that video. And we'll be chatting in the Discord. We will be active in the Discord, so we'll see you there. Adios.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, catch a word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros.